Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, my GOAT, my friend, the reality check master, Tiffany Meeks.
Hey, what's up? I almost didn't make it, guys. Got some technical issues. The internet is doing internet things. So hopefully it'll hold out and we can get through this.
It'd be stormy right now. It's a rainy, weather-stricken time in America right now, Tiff. But we figured it out. Got a good connection, and we have a show to do, guys. Today's a bit of a special show. We're gonna talk some Team USA. We're gonna talk some Bam Adebayo. We're gonna talk some Eric Spoelstra. We're gonna talk some NBA schedule news. But also today is kind of like our unofficial, official Pride kind of closing ceremony, much like the Olympics. If you donate to the link in chat, !Pride, you will be entered to win some raffle items that we have, because Pride Month is every month. It's not just in June.
I agree. Am I by myself? What's going on?
I guess the broadcast software that we use is a little homophobic, and I start saying nice things, and all of a sudden, it takes me out. So as I was saying, just so you're entered. You're going to be entered to win with a $10 donation. You'll be entered in a raffle to win. We have some Miami Heat merch. We have some Big Face Coffee merch for the big Jimmy fans out there. We have colognes. We have some beauty care products as well to give away. So every $10 enters you to win an item in the raffle, and we're going to start giving things away once we hit the $50 threshold. And every $50 we will unlock a new item to give away. The first is going to be a pair. It's going to be a Miami Heat hat from Kith and a Big Face Copy hat, so you get them both together. So !Pride in the chat. We'll be reminding you guys for the show. We've already had some pre-donations, so we'll raffle that off at the end. Tiff, let's talk Team USA, because that was one of the most fun basketball games I've seen in a long time. I thought it was kind of everything that you want. I mean, going from the Serbia game to that France game, I think we as a collective were very privileged to kind of experience that, to a fitting gold medal game. Obviously, this is a Heat show. We're going to talk about it from the Bam angle. Tiff, the agenda was thriving for Miami. Fourth quarter minutes for Bam Adebayo, who I thought earned it. I thought he and AD were clearly the two best bigs for Team USA the entire run of the tournament. Embiid had that big game, that half against Serbia, but for the whole tournament, I thought Bam and AD were the two best bigs, and Bam and AD were the ones that played in the fourth quarter. I could not be happier for Bam. I think he earned it. I thought that he understood his assignment and played it to a fucking T. And I'm just proud of him.
I think that's the thing that you want to see. Like, you wanted to see like Bam be able to go and just kind of fit into any role that was offered. And he did what he needed to do. Bam is, and we've watched him. He's very unselfish, and we already know that. He's the ultimate team guy. He'll do whatever you ask, and it was proven, and he earned those minutes. I think it's the thing that people forget when you have a collection of quote unquote great guys. Everyone's not going to be great, right? Some guys got to be good for you to win. Somebody has to be great. A few guys got to be good. Everybody can't be great, and I think that like he is the epitome of I will go where I need to go. I will do what you ask me to do, and I'm going to make the most out of my minutes.
I agree, and I thought Devin Booker was kind of a good example of that. And Tiff, we were talking, I want to let you say it. You had a really great phrase when we were texting today about kind of the role that certain guys on Team USA adopted and how that needs to be reimagined for this Miami Heat team.
So the funny thing is, it's not even mine. Kyle Kuzma tweeted, I think either early this year or the end of last year, he said, Team USA needs guys that are okay with playing defense and standing in the corner. Devin Booker responded, I'll do it. and that was it. Like literally responded months ago and said, "I'll do it." And then went out and did it. And I feel like that's the epitome of like, honestly, this Heat team and most teams around the league. It's just sometimes you have to fit in where you get in. Everything can't just be about you because I'm the marquee guy, I'm the big money guy, I'm this or that. Because at some point, everybody has a role. And whether you are self ordained in that role, or if the coach has to say, this is your role, you got to accept it. So I really hope that like watching Bam, other Heat players see that, and then once we get into the workouts and once we get into preseason, that guys are willing to, if I need to take 5 less shots, take 5 less shots, because that means I'm moving the ball. Like these are the things that they're gonna have to do to be unselfish to honestly win some games.
Bare minimum.
Yeah.
Bare minimum win some games. But I think there's certain guys on this team. Like, I think if and Bronx Joker in chat just said tip spitting, who also subscribed tier one, 22 months. Remember, guys, all subs today are going to be donated to Trans Social, in addition to any other Twitch donations, exclamation point Prime for the donation link. And remember, every $10 enters you to win raffle prizes, including Miami Heat merch and other cool things. Devin, and the guy that I think of, what you're talking about, there's a couple guys in the Heat that I think could learn something from Devin Booker. And listen, I have not been a Devin Booker fan at all. I've
Mm,
been pretty hard on him, but he kind of turned me. I thought that the way he embraced that role was really incredible. And I think that Tyler Hero could learn
mhm,
a thing or two from that. I think that's a guy that you're just like, that he has a skill set where he can be some version of a scorer that Booker is as a jump shooter. Maybe not so much getting to the rim. Obviously, Devin has a lot of size that Tyler
mhm,
doesn't. But I do think that kind of embracing that kind of role, especially if Jaquez takes a step,
mhm.
right? If Bam continues that ascension on offense, I think that's a guy that can learn.
I also just kind of think that like at some point I think I remember him saying that he models his game after Booker. Like he likes Booker's game. He looks up to him in certain ways as far as a player. So I feel like yeah, if you just saw this guy that look up to, you just saw he basically sacrificed everything that he usually does in Phoenix to assure this team wins a gold. If you have championship aspirations, then you've got to start working on some sort of sacrifice. But I also
And
just kind of think, go ahead, G.
no, you go, you go.
No, because I also think that like I don't want this to come to, oh, Tiff wants Tyler to blah blah blah, because it's not just Tyler.
It's not.
I
He was just
I
the easiest
he,
example.
he's the easiest guy to bring up, but I think as a whole, the whole unit has to. And I'm
They
so,
got to know
but
their role.
they got to know their role, and they got to be okay with, let's be real honest, they're going to have to be okay with Bam getting more shots.
Bam has to be
Because,
okay with Bam getting more shots.
well, yeah, that's another conversation for a different day. But you're gonna, and that's the interesting part about how the team is constructed, where it's so guard dominant that I think you've got so many guards and everybody wants shots. So how do you make it work where you are not being overly selfish and also not being underly selfish, where you can kind of get yours without the detriment of other people.
I think it's easy also if you're a guy like Booker, where you're just like, I'm deferring to Kevin Durant and LeBron James and
Right,
Steph
right,
Curry.
right.
That's one thing, as opposed to, kind of maybe players that don't have that resume of
Right.
accomplishments, of pedigree, of parades attended, right? Stuff like that. So
No,
I
you're
I
right.
get it. I get it. I get it. I agree with you. 100%. And I do think that there's like a lot of power in being like the ultimate decoy and the ultimate role guy. And I just think that's something that for sure that he should explore a little bit. And I think the Heat has to also have to get better players than him, right? Because like I think
Yeah.
like you think of like Tyler in like a Duncan role, that's like
Right.
ideal,
Right.
right? Like, hey,
Right.
can you terrorize people like running around? And then he has like real ball skill too. So it's like imagine you're
Right.
like coming around a pick like off ball, you get the ball with the defender kind of chasing, you can go back the other way, do some dribble, get to your pull up, all that stuff. So I like his
I,
game, and I know that we're hard on Tyler. I
right.
just think that like he has a there's a clear path to a role that could be so deadly
Hmm.
that I just think it makes too much sense.
I think it makes too much sense, but I also think that like if we want to be really honest about it, Tyler's not the best player on this team. So
Oh yeah, he's
asking
not.
him to defer is not asking him to take a step back. It's actually you need to acquiesce to these other things that need to happen.
It's just asking him to like acquiesce to guys like Duncan Robinson and stuff like that.
Well,
Like, hey, like, are you willing to give up your or Rozier or guys like that?
I don't think it's interesting because I don't think he's here's the thing. While Jimmy and Bam are on a whole nother level, we're talking about splitting hairs, honestly, when we're talking about Terry, Tyler, and Duncan. Because we could also say Duncan might be more needed than the other two.
Because you need, and I like what I like what Diamond says in chat, and he's like, "What I'm scared most this year is lack of movement in the
Mhm.
offense, and that's kind of like a role that Duncan fills, right? Like kind of that
E
motion, that
exactly.
relocation.
Yep.
You need guys moving and
Yep.
cutting,
Mhm.
especially when you don't have a lot of off the dribble creators, which Miami lacks.
Well, that's the thing. If we look back in the past and you can clearly say, and if we use the word acquiesce, Jimmy acquiesced to Max, he acquiesced to Duncan, he acquiesced to Gabe. Get like you have to be willing to give these guys the ball because we know what you're going to bring, Tyler. We know what you bring, Terry, but the defenses also know what you bring.
I think Terry, especially, and I don't want to be harp on Tyler too much, but I know that they brought Terry in to be a scorer, but what they really need is a playmaker, a point guard, and really
Yep.
you got to beat guys off the dribble and force rotation. And Rozier not being the best finisher in the world, I think you just got to really
Right.
like, okay, if they're coming and affecting my shot, can I kick it to the guy in the corner? Can I kick it to the trailer cutter? And I think that's on Spo a little bit too. Like you got to get more involvement out of your offense. I think that
Mhm.
Jimmy as a screener is something that, and look again, we're gonna kind of tie this back to Team USA a lot. When Durant's screening, obviously they don't have Steph Curry
Right.
or LeBron James, but you see how deadly it is when your best player is a screener because on the
Mhm.
short roll, the way that you get the ball, a guy like Kevin Durant or a guy like Jimmy threatening as a jump shooter off the short roll, as a passer on the short roll,
Yep.
given Jimmy's playmaking. One, you can also one dribble drive
Mhm.
out of the short roll if you're Jimmy. Jimmy has that push shot floater. A lot can happen out of that short roll. Can get a cutter in at the angle from the wing. There's a lot that you can do that involves him screening, and I just don't think he did a lot of that. And I think that's one way that they can kind of involve that movement, involve kind of all
Right.
these guys is just have him in motion in their offense. As a screener, it doesn't have to have the ball in his hand to be scary.
Well, and that's the thing. If you look at Steph, if you look at Booker, they can be in constant motion. They have no problem with moving. They have no problem with standing in the corner. They can do all those things. But that also is that's also a skill set. You know, Steph can be in constant motion and catch and shoot. Like you also got to have those players to be able to do certain things. Whereas we've doubled up on our two guards who pretty much do mostly the same thing. So You're not going to have Jimmy in constant motion. You're not going to have Bam in constant motion. So who in that lineup can give you can replicate what Steph was doing during the Olympics? And I don't mean the crazy shooting because that's Steph being Steph, but I just mean with all the body movement. Who can replicate that?
They don't have a lot of options, and that's going to be something
Yep.
that they're going to have to improve the team over, and it's kind of beating that dead horse. So,
Mhm.
um, switching gears a little bit to focus more on Team USA, Tiff, I thought it was like one of the most fun Twitter
Yes.
watching experiences I think I've had in a really long time. And I tweeted this out, Tiff. The vibes were unreal because everybody was united, even
Yep.
people that don't like America, right? This country's very divisive right now. There's a lot of things that are
Right.
upsetting people, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of identity. We all came together to make fun of Rudy Gobert as a
Right.
whole. We came together to make fun of Jayson Tatum and Joel Embiid, and the vibes were immaculate. I liked Devin Booker. I liked Derek White. Tiff, I
Right.
liked
Right.
Derek White.
Yep.
I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, and we're just all vibing. We're having a good time, and we're making fun of the guys that we don't like. It was everything I ever wanted.
I've never seen like I've never seen so many people probably running through their house with a flag on. Like that it was that kind of moment this year for the Olympics. Like it was fun. It was crazy. Like you got to like I got to explain how like Rudy Gobert was patient zero in my house. Like
Yeah, because they don't know, because they're not
no,
basketball. They're not
no,
following the NBA like us. They didn't see that
no.
man touch some microphones.
Exactly. So the fact that I got to do that, it's like crazy that like my daughter was just like, "Who's that guy?" And I tell her and she goes, "Oh, he's not that good." Like these are the
She knows
conversations.
ball. She knows hoops. Tiff, I thought it was so fucking funny. I was doing the same with my girlfriend. I'm just explaining all the dumbass NBA Twitter stuff that we go through. I'm like, it's just funny. I showed her the Derek White picture, the meme of him just like that really uncomfortably
Yes.
close. I was like, that's our guy, and I'm all in. Seeing Curry do that, I saw one
Ugh.
tweet and it's like that man's been doing that to the Toyota Center for a decade. And I'm like, Rockets fans are so hurt, dude.
Just like trauma.
Such trauma. I gotta be honest. I mean, I've always liked Steph. That was crazy.
Yeah.
He got the
Yeah.
ball doubled. Durant and LeBron are at the
We're
3-point
wide
line with him.
open.
We
Yeah.
all listen.
Mm.
We knew two things. He was gonna take that shot,
Yep.
and that shit was going in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was surreal. It's I keep saying it like that is like the high of the highs. Like how do you go back into the basketball season after like watching that? Like that was surreal. Like how do we go back into the season and just watch, you know,
You know the
Thomas
the you know
Bryant?
the Drewski meme of him coming getting picked up from work, and all the kids are
Yeah.
like, "Daddy!" He's like, "Man, shut up, shut up." That's like all these dudes going back to their team.
Oh
Like Bam's
man.
coming home, and in the backseat it's Hawkes and fucking
Thomas
Haywood
Bryant.
Highsmith. Daddy, daddy, man, shut up. Jimmy's the wife. Come on, drive. Like you know what I mean? Like Steph has to go back to God knows has to go back to Draymond, who by the way,
He showed up.
Draymond flew ultimate hate watch. I can't, man. Being a hater and being rich must be so fun.
Could you imagine?
He got in every picture too. Like that picture of Steph like doing the night like that really
Yes.
iconic shot. Draymond's in the middle of that picture.
Uh,
My
that was
goat,
good
bro.
times. That was
Main
good
hype in
times.
chat says that's a where were you moment. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
that's a where were you moment. I forgot who I told. I was like, that's tell your fucking kids about that
Yeah,
type shit.
yeah. The craziest thing I'll never forget because I was, and it's probably illegal, but I was in the car driving, and Kim had it on her phone because we got the Peacock app, and she had the phone out. So I was driving and looking at the last 3 minutes of the game. How crazy is that?
It's just, and you know what the best part about it was, Tiff? That was like the women's game and the men's. Those were like two of the final events
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
Olympics,
Yeah.
which is pretty fucking dope. The women, the U.S. women got to close out pretty much the Olympics. Really, that was like, was that
Yeah.
the last event?
That was the last event.
It was surely the last really important event. I'm not saying that because I'm
That was
American
that
and
was
we
the
won.
event where they said, "Get out."
That event was Journey playing at the bar. You
No,
know,
what's the
like
other one? What's the other one? Closing time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The fucking lights were on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, I went to a bar on Saturday in Miami, and I really like the drinks. It's called Coyote and Brickle, and you know, there it was really loud. And my girlfriend's
Mhm.
like, "It's really loud. Can we be outside?" And we ended up staying inside because it was a good vibe. And and then like once it got to closing time, that music got low as fuck, and all the lights came on.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you don't gotta go home,
Yep.
but you gotta get out of here.
Ex-
You USA women's basketball versus France women's basketball.
Yo, ridiculous.
And
That game was stupid.
Aja, the GOAT. The GOAT. That game was crazy. Again, that game, that actually, I was really mad because I was like, I want to be up by more. And I don't even feel
Yeah.
like it was France playing well. I thought us, the US, we were just
Mhm.
bunny after bunny.
Yeah,
And
we
I
you
know
know
they're not missing that shit on the
no.
I know that.
No. And they looked, and I'm not going to lie, they looked gassed. By the time they got to that game, they just looked they looked gassed.
Do you
They
think it
looked
was a
out of
little bit of like
sorts.
playing with their food, not taking it as serious as they should have, and they were a little more tired than they thought?
I do. Because it doesn't, even blowing out teams, you're still taking all the energy and effort to get that big lead. So there was no cakewalk for them. But like, the Aces sent out a tweet and they said it perfectly. In the end, we had Asia and you don't. Like,
The GOAT.
like that's it. She is. Like you can't I've never seen someone, and honestly, this could be in the men's game or the women's game. I've never seen someone go from offense to defense so fast. Like literally block shot, layup on the other end. I've never seen somebody
Tiff,
move that fast.
I'm telling you, like she's in like a LeBron Jordan conversation in that
She
respect.
is.
And you know what I mean? Wade's another one that
Yeah.
just they just well, like I think she's the kind of person. Jimmy's another one that like I feel like her offense is like fed by her defense. Like she
Mhm.
gets going defensively, and like you said, you know, and she's just
You
fucking
could
beating your ass on both ends.
Gee, you saw it. It was like she had nothing. And all of a sudden she had 2 blocks. And it was like those 2 blocks, she was able to find whatever that last surge of energy she had.
That shit was
And
so
she just
badass, bro. It
and
was
she
so
just
fucking
it was all of a
badass.
sudden, and she goes down, fade away shot. She goes down, rebound. She's running the break. It was just kind of like those 2 blocks kind of put her in the mind frame like, all right, now I got to put my foot to the gas. It was just the entire women's team. They were fun to watch. They were, releasing videos. They were being personal on the internet. They seemed like they were having a great time with each other, which also matters.
The vibes were immaculate.
Yes. Yes.
Immaculate.
Yes.
I think this next generation of stars in the W is going to be really fun when they get on that stage because it feels a little bit. I kind of feel like both the men and the women's national teams have a similar thing where it's like this kind of age of like
Hmm.
Diana and all these like other players are going to be transitioning out. I guess it's not as heavy on the women's side of things. It's maybe a few.
Right.
You think I don't know if Brittany's going to be able to play another one, but certainly like there are some question marks around the team about availability in 4 years. And now we have this new guard that's going to be really fun, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's kind of sad, but you do have to usher in the new guard. You do have to you do got to get the younger players out there. It's very interesting to see on both sides, men and women, who will be the torchbearers, who will be the next people to step up.
I'm more sure of the ladies. I don't know who's gonna. I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and he's like, "So like, is our best player Jayson Tatum next time? Like, who
Mm,
is America gonna trot out there that you feel good about? Like, who are the American-born players that you're just like, oh yeah, he's that motherfucker? You know what I mean?" And I'm
right,
like, you're kind of right because I mean, listen, the WNBA is filled with a lot of young players, and a lot of those girls on that team are going to be, hopefully there in 4 years. The men, a lot of these guys, I mean, Durant, Steph, LeBron, you
yep,
know, Drew's not going to be there.
right. Drew,
Embiid's already like, where am I going
right,
next?
right, 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 right.
What the
Which is
fuck?
all. That was crazy.
Tiff, they're booing him when he's getting the
Yes,
medal and he's like doing all the antics. You didn't play well enough to do the antics.
right. Well, also, you can't be talking about I could have played here, I could have did this. Like no one needs all of that.
Shut
You
up,
don't need
bro.
to talk about that. I
He
thought
was so
to me, like that was where I was kind of like, all right, you're doing way too much. Like we still
way
know
too
who
much.
you are. We know who you are. That's not who I think it is talking, right? Like we've seen you. There's video. We've seen you.
There is film of what you did. Tiff, you know what the thing about him is I don't have a problem with him wanting to play for Team USA because like I think being American is a very it's how you grow up, it's how you feel. Like I think people trying to tell him you should have played for France, or you should play for Cameroon. Would it have been more fun to have like the talent spread around to different teams? Absolutely. But like,
Right,
whatever he feels, if he feels like I'm an American, it's not for us to tell him, especially if he's eligible to play, like what you should and
right,
shouldn't do because like you want to feel, you want to have like that identity,
right.
but like you just can't
But
come
don't
out
talk
after
about team hopping.
fucking you just made a big deal of it and now you're like, yeah, I think I may play for Cameroon. I was like, motherfucker, you
Right.
should have just done that. Like, well, you just wanted the gold because now it just sounds like you just wanted to win a gold medal.
See, and that's what bothers me.
It's like
Not
so cringe, bro.
that he chose, right, not that he chose to play for America, but the fact that like dude wants to have 12 different Olympic jerseys. Like
Dude
this
wants
is
to be the Kevin
crazy.
Durant of national team basketball.
Uh,
My
he
next
could
journey.
he could never. Also, I do want to kind of comment on this really quickly before we move on. Vane Hype brought up the whole
Tatum.
Tatum, the Pam Pan dilemma. Yeah.
You you're a mother.
Yes.
I don't think you'd ever go on Twitter and ask if your child could have more playing time if they were a professional athlete.
Let me tell you something. First of
Mama
all,
words of wisdom.
if my child is a professional athlete, making money, doing the right things, being corny in the magazines, all those things. First time Olympian, right? First time. You got to let that coach coach. This is not where you put your foot in and you say he should be playing. Because in that respect, guess what? Bam's mom, Davis's mom could have said, "How come they not starting? They already got gold medals. Why aren't they starting?" it's cyclical. It can work for anybody, right? You could say, how come so and so? Because for me, then you could go, oh, why is Ant playing? He hasn't done anything in the league. Why is he playing minutes over whoever? Right? Like it could work any kind of way. I just felt like it was so weird to me and so first world that she had the audacity to do that in public. Like it felt first world. Like your son is on the Olympic team. This is his first time going for a gold medal. And how dare you kind of like call out the coach and make him, first of all, you made him look juvenile, like he can't speak for himself. And also, it also just showed me the type of person that he was in comparison to a couple of the women who had DMPs in certain games.
Could you give some of the names of some of the caliber of player that got DMP that didn't?
Uh Jewel Lloyd,
Yeah.
multi WNBA champion, did not play in the final game. Like, didn't play. Kalia Copper had DNPs. Who's a WNBA champion? Like Diana Taurasi, who is for some people the GOAT,
The GOAT.
did not play in the last game.
And
Like his
and
act,
and you want to talk about, not to cut you off, Tiff, you want to talk about earning it on the
right?
national scale?
Exactly,
I don't think
exactly,
anybody, men or women, as a basketball player, has
right,
done more than Diana Taurasi in
right.
terms of a U.S. national player.
G, or even, let's be honest, if we put up a list of his accolades next to a list of her accolades, they're not going to be the same.
No, no, Tiff. I mean, if you're gonna compare her accolades to somebody on the men's side of things, we're talking LeBron James, caliber player,
Exactly.
not
But
not Jayson Tatum. Yeah,
exactly. So I just thought it was so weird. And then the whole Instagram thing, like he's going to be avenged. Like did he die? Like I don't understand. Why are we
and they're
avenging
like,
Jayson Tatum?
they're saying, oh, he's not gonna go play for them next time. I'm like, why?
Don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go.
I
You
saw
have a
I saw what your minutes look like, buddy.
I read somewhere he didn't make one jump shot.
No, he didn't. He was bad. Tiff, I swear to God, I don't remember any singular play he did except when he bear hugged Rudy Gobert under the basket as an intentional foul. And I was like, that's a good foul. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I remember him doing the entire Olympics. And
Yeah.
handing Bam and Derek White Gatorade.
It's just kind of, it goes back to, I guess this is kind of a way to tie it. It goes back to Booker. I'll do it.
Tyrese Halliburton, like to kind of give a more similar analog, had a great
Right.
attitude, made the joke
Right.
on Twitter. Is Tyrese Halliburton, who's also a good player and an all-star, is
Right.
he saying, oh, well, good luck having me on the team?
Right.
I don't know, man. He seemed
Tyrese is
happy.
he he seemed like he seemed like a kid watching his faves play on courtside.
Yeah. Tiff,
He
I'll tell you
enjoyed
this.
it.
Jayson Tatum is more Tyrese Halliburton's peer than he is Diana Taurasi's peer.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
say that. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
No,
I'll
you're
say
right.
that.
You're absolutely right.
And if she's okay with it, it's like when Dwayne Wade came off the bench, and I've said this about other players on the Heat. I was like, Goran Dragic came off the bench and Dwayne Wade came off the bench.
Yep.
You fucking look up. If you've been in the arena, you fucking look up. Every
Yep.
jersey except for Hardaway that's in those rafters, he's played with. And
Yep.
all those fucking banners, every single one of them, except for 2 Eastern Conference championship banners, he put up there.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear it from people. Guys, we're going to talk about one more thing. Last chance to donate. Get in here now. ! Pride in chat. We already we have over $100 donated. So make sure to donate $10 to get in to be eligible for the raffle. We have a few donations. So we'll do that at the end of the show. Just want to talk real quick about 2 things. One of them is Eric Spoelstra potentially being the next USA head coach for basketball. Tiff,
Hmm.
I think that I know that a lot of, and I don't want this to be a very long conversation because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
rumors and stuff, but I just
Hmm.
want to say this. I think Eric has earned it. And also, I don't
Yep.
want him to have that job because there's no upside. And I just don't,
No.
there's no upside. There's just none.
No. I like that he likes to be there. That he's the assistant coach and doing all the things. Um, I like him sitting and adding his
He
two
gets
cents.
credit and he doesn't
Exactly.
get blamed. I just don't want my man out
Exactly.
there. People are
No.
mean.
I'll be honest. I'd like him to take a summer off
Yeah, I mean, well,
at some point.
he's a workaholic.
I
But
know.
Tiff, I mean, imagine next year, all these other fucking teams are like these, like all those guys on Serbia aren't going anywhere. All these French
No.
guys aren't fucking going anywhere.
Nope.
So you know what I mean? That what do they call him? Beignet Wallace. That
Yeah.
guy's gonna be in the. That guy should be in the NBA.
I want that guy.
I want that guy. I don't care if he's another big. Send Thomas Bryant home. Pat, go get him.
Gee, he's a big, but he's not a big.
I like
You
him.
know what I'm saying? But that's what
Get
I'm
his French
saying.
ass over here.
He's a big, but he's not a big.
He'll fit
So
in.
he could fit perfectly. I don't care who you got to move.
Yeah,
I
you get you
listen,
bring his Pat. Go get him. Wake up.
go get him.
And he dunked on
Man.
LeBron. That was crazy.
Right. Just the
Um,
way that he played us.
I listen. That man got fouled a lot, and I like that he was like, "Fuck it, I'll be physical." We just need a
Yep.
guy like that. We need a guy like that. So I don't want Eric. I want Eric with that responsibility. I don't want people to be mean to Eric
Right.
at all. So I don't want him. And then lastly, NBA schedule got leaked, a little bit of it. Know that there were rumors that Miami would play Boston opening night. They are not. Tiff, you laughed and you're just like, who actually believed that the Heat were going to play on opening day? They've made the finals and not played on opening day. You're absolutely right. I don't know why. I don't know why I believed that rumor. I guess because Miami and Boston are rivals, and I was like, yeah, bro, like those teams legitimately don't like each other, and that's like a really good rivalry. Of course, they were going to put the Knicks.
Yes.
Who
Yes,
was I
of
kidding?
course.
Get ready for an uncomfortable amount of Jalen Brunson on TNT broadcasts.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
I mean, I live in New York, so it's already uncomfortable.
Tiff, no chance they get a Christmas game, right?
Who? Knicks?
Miami.
Oh, no.
I
No.
actually think the Christmas schedule got released. Did it? I
Oh,
didn't
I
see
don't know. They're not
Shams.
getting it. Gee, we're not even going to be on TNT.
No farewell.
I don't. If we get on TNT, it's going to be like they're going to schedule us against somebody to get blown out.
Okay. So we have Christmas games, and Miami's not in it. Spurs
Of
at
course not.
Knicks, Timberwolves at Mavs. That's kind of low key banger. 76ers
Hmm.
at Celtics, Lakers at Warriors. They got to stop making that happen. Nuggets at Suns. Nuggets Suns is the best game of the night.
Yeah.
Spurs, why? Spurs at Knicks. What are we doing with Wemby?
Spurs, like they leapfrog a few teams.
Yeah, the NFL that night has Chiefs at Steelers and Ravens at Texans. So,
Well, all I know is if any basketball games are on the same time the NFL games are on, that's a wrap.
I don't like that the NFL is gentrifying Christmas.
Well, they are.
I don't like it.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, guys. So appreciate Tiff you joining me today. So we actually had today was interesting. We had two donations and one of them was an older one. We have the Basement Sports Network donated $100. Shout out to our friends at the Basement. Shout out to Royal Shepherd and everything that they're doing over there. And thank you for the donation. And Vane Hype donated $20. So instead of doing a raffle for two people that was incredibly lopsided, we'll give two different prizes. Vane Hype, if you want to message me on Twitter, congratulations,
Yeah.
you have won a Big Face Coffee hat and a Miami Heat Kith hat. So congratulations to you, and we'll message you on the side, Royal and the basement, and we'll give you something special for such a generous donation. It's all for Trans Social. In addition to some other things that we did, we've raised almost $1,000 again this year. So you guys are incredible as always. And
Uh,
obviously, Pride Month was a little bit weird for us. Go ahead, Tiff.
right. I was gonna say, we how much longer you want to leave the link up for?
We could leave it up. I mean, indefinitely. I mean, I think that we could leave it up until the season starts, and if if we get more donations, until the season starts, we can give more stuff away.
Yep.
If you guys really come out in droves, but today was kind of like the little unofficial
Right.
donation drive show. We had quite a few issues this summer with what we wanted to do. Tiff and I talked about kind of improving the logistics of making sure that we give you an interesting Pride show. Obviously, this was the first year without Hangover Time. Kind of, we had a lot of complications in terms of
Hmm.
personal things going on in our lives, but we're happy that we raised almost $1,000 in spite of that. And I think one of the things that Tiff and I potentially talked about doing next year to kind of peel back the curtain is maybe lining up our Pride stuff with Miami Beach Pride, because that's within the NBA season. That's not, in June, where kind of basketball's over and we're kind of like competing with free agency and everything. So be on the lookout for that next year. And again, thank you guys for uh being such a great audience and giving us the space to do these wonderful things. Tiff, I want you to have the last word on this and today.
Um, you know, we hadn't done the show in a while. It was good to be back. We talked about a few things. We hopefully this upcoming season we'll bring you some new things, some old things, some things that you guys will enjoy. So you'll get some post game. You're definitely going to get some more mixed bag. You're going to get some new things. With that being said, we love and appreciate each and every one of you, and you guys know that we do this from the heart. This is not self-serving. This is us trying to give back. No matter how big, no matter how little, that's just how we roll over here. Um, we're you know we are, for better or for worse, we are those people who we want to help, and that's just what it is. There's no pomp and circumstance. It's just us trying to improve the world at this point, you know? So hopefully all you guys out there, you see somebody, tell somebody you love them, give somebody a hug, always high five a stranger. Just keep it honest, keep it open, and keep it real. And from everybody at Heat Beat, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. Thanks.